So for this camp, in any given day, Ryan wakes up and he runs like Forrest Gump. And he doesn't have to, but he does.
How you feel?
Amazing. He said 7 punches not gonna do it. I said, if you didn't put in the contract that I can't throw more than 7 punches, then I'd throw more than that.
Because Ryan is an elite fighter, he's a knockout artist, among the best fighters in the world today. They want to take every step to try to control the amount of strength he's gonna have the next day.
Way more explain. Ryan's fast as shit. Ain't nobody gonna say Ryan's not one of the fastest fighters, and I look way faster at 47, way more explosive, way more durable.
Ryan Garcia is grinding non-stop in training right now. With Rolly Romero pushing him in the gym, the sessions are intense and purposeful, tightening his mindset, quickening his hands, and boosting his self-belief as he gears up for the challenge against Mario Barrios.
Hey, go forward now. Yeah. Ahí, ándale, rico, arriba, abajo y arriba. Arriba, abajo, eso. Adelante y atrás. Échale, hijo, 5 minutes here. And 1 and...
Ryan Garcia's camp is centered on explosive pace and raw strength, with non-stop daily sessions designed to refine his tools and push his performance to another level.
Una, dos, tres. Y luego 4 y 5. La que está haciendo 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Y aquí. Sí, güey. Ya. 3, 4, 5. Y ahora. After. 3, 4, 5.
Rolly Romero has stepped into Ryan Garcia's camp, raising the tempo every single day and pushing a no-break approach that fine-tunes his quickness, strength, and mental edge. After sharing rounds in the past, Ryan Garcia and Rolly Romero are now working side by side in camp, carrying mutual respect as they push one another forward and elevate their progress day after day.
Like that.
Mario Barrios stays firm in his belief, Pointing to his veteran experience and extra time in the ring as key factors, he says give him the upper hand over Ryan Garcia in this matchup.
The advantages I have coming to this fight is just overall just like everything. My experience, who I've been in the ring with, who I faced. I think, the boxing IQ, I think I had that on my side. Heart. I think, yeah.
He does have experience, more experience.
Max Kellerman and Robert Garcia gave blunt reactions to the announcement of Ryan Garcia versus Mario Barrios, but their attention shifted away from raw ability and landed squarely on Ryan's camp setup. They highlighted that Garcia is training under his father's guidance instead of working with marquee names like Eddie Reynoso, Derek James, or Joe Goosen. Robert Garcia acknowledged that Ryan's father played a major role in building his amateur background, so the knowledge is legitimate. Still, he raised concerns about why Ryan cycled through multiple top-tier trainers only to circle back home, suggesting that this back-and-forth points to deeper issues with discipline, leadership, and control within the camp.
With his dad, which I'm not saying the dad is not, the dad brought him through the amateurs, but when he left his dad or went to seek a different trainer, before he came back to that, he went through 3 different trainers.
Wow.
That means all 3 are not good enough to, they're all 3 are the best in the world.
Here's the question. Did Ryan Garcia ever allow those trainers to be the boss?
That's why he's back with his dad, because he's the boss. That's why.
Yeah.
Look, Joe Goosen, I know Joe Goosen. My brother used to train with him. He's not gonna just let you get away with stuff like that. Derek James shouldn't either. Eddie Reynoso doesn't need. He's made so much money with Canelo that if you want to come to me, it's gonna be under my rules. And if that didn't work, then Ryan's back. So that's I give that big of.
Kellerman then zeroed in on a bigger concern: discipline. He questioned whether Garcia ever truly handed the keys over to those elite coaches, because top-level trainers operate with firm rules, strict accountability, and zero shortcuts. In that environment, fighters don't get to freestyle their schedules or pick and choose instructions. Robert followed up by noting that coaches like Reynoso or James already work with world champions and won't lower their standards for any fighter. If a boxer struggles to accept that kind of authority, real growth becomes harder to achieve. Both analysts agreed that this lack of stability could quietly tilt the fight toward Mario Barrios, who is known for consistent preparation, physical advantages, and seasoned ring awareness. In a matchup this close, the structure inside camp could be the deciding factor.
To even pull that off.
See, that's the thing about boxing, and Big Baby Miller pointed it out, because there's no structure. And hopefully that'll happen with Zuffa Boxing, and I am a part of Zuffa Boxing, full disclosure. The first fight coming up on the 23rd.
Oh, congrats, Max.
Congrats. But you need some kind of.
On that card,
there
so
you go. You need some kind of.
Right?
So, well, the undercard has not been announced yet, but yeah, we could talk about what his
names, but yeah.
But we need some kind of structure. In the NFL, the guy has to sit there for the media interview. He shows up on time. Yep. He's got to do it. Yep. And to give you an NFL analogy, think about the Broncos, right? When they had Russell Wilson over there and he had his own office and everything, and it was nothing. It was dysfunctional. Then they hired Sean Payton.
Cut it out.
As a coach, that's like going to train with Goosen or going to train with a world-class trainer, right? And you knew as soon as Sean Payton got there, ain't no one's going to have their own office, and you turn around a couple years later.
Boxing analyst Wade Plemons shared an insightful take on the looming clash between Ryan Garcia and Mario Barrios. He posed the classic debate: does the fighter define the coach, or does the coach shape the fighter? Plemons emphasized Joe Goosen's long-standing reputation as a top trainer, highlighting his skill in developing talent, now with Barrios under his guidance. He questioned whether Goosen could offer Barrios fresh strategies or perspectives that he hadn't already absorbed from Bob Santos. At the same time, Plemons noted the intrigue in Garcia's poise, suggesting that Ryan may feel he already knows what Barrios and his team are planning in the ring.
Interesting answer. I always wonder who makes a fighter, right? Especially in boxing, combat sports. Is it a coach that makes the fighter or the fighter that makes the coach? Now, Joe Goosen has a track record of being a high-level boxing coach. We know that. But do coaches change for fighters, or do they implement what they know to fighters and fighters change for coaches? Because this will be the crux of what happens here. Can Joe Goosen, not to call Mario Barrios old, but can he teach an old dog new tricks? Can he give him something that Bob Santos hasn't? Sure. Can he give him more info about what Ryan likes to do? Absolutely. But will it be enough to prepare him for what Ryan knows that Joe knows? and how Joe trains fighters and how Joe runs a camp and how rigid he might be. And even that last part, Ryan's talking about information leaking maybe from Joe, or that Joe was leaking information about Barrios, or about, I'm not sure who he was talking about Ryan or about Barrios, but Ryan.
He even alluded to Garcia's assertions that he has insight into the inner workings of Barrios' camp, though how much that truly matters is unclear. Ultimately, Plemons stressed that this matchup isn't just a test of punches and speed, it's a battle shaped by the bond between coach and fighter. Can Goosen introduce new tactics that give Barrios an advantage? Or will Garcia's understanding of Goosen's style tilt the scales in his favor? The analysis highlights how experience, preparation, and the coach-fighter relationship could play a pivotal role when Garcia and Barrios finally collide in the ring.
About the chaos in the corner, or not maybe chaos, but kind of misdirection in the corner of the Manny Pacquiao fight, where Bob Santos is saying one thing and other cornermen are saying, that are, you know, a part of Mario's kind of OG team, are saying another. I think it's pretty well known that I would assume well known that Mario Barrios' dad used to train him, and I don't know if he was in the corner or it was somebody else, but there was a miscommunication, it seemed like, from even the people in the corner around the strategy of the Barrios fight, or what they wanted to do against Manny Pacquiao. And let's just say I heard from sources there were a lot of frustrations that came out of that fight with how Barrios went into that fight, how he performed in that fight, and how directions were listened to from either one side or the other. It felt like it was a bit of a confusing thing. So when you have that kind of a situation, you feel like you need to make a move. One person's going to get left out in the dust, and it's probably not someone that's either one.
Ryan Garcia's trainer expressed full confidence in his fighter's discipline and ability to manage weight, emphasizing that this camp is a clear step up from previous efforts. He explained that once Garcia is mentally locked in, everything else naturally falls into place. Moving into the 140-pound division is not only feasible but a smart move. The trainer reassured that Garcia can hit the weight limit without strain while keeping his power, stamina, and overall performance intact.
Our strength and conditioning coach will lock it in, Ryan will lock it in, and we're back to 140. Solid. But that's a strong possibility. I'm not kidding you. I am not kidding you. And we talked about that.
It changes things.
Yeah, and I mean this. I mean this 100% sincerely, that we could make 140.
Because when you guys fought Haney, you guys were not necessarily you guys, but he was drinking, he was doing all these other things that...
Exactly, yeah, forget about that and forget about the Rolly, because I'm telling you, that was not Ryan. This is Ryan. This is Ryan. You're going to see Ryan. This is going to be Ryan. And you're going to say, man, he looks good. His weight is good. And his strength is unbelievable.
The trainer also acknowledged that during the Devin Haney camp, Garcia's focus wavered, and outside distractions crept into his preparation. This time around, however, the mindset is laser-sharp and far more professional. He predicts that fans will see a leaner, fitter Garcia with improved stamina and knockout-level explosiveness when the bell rings. The team even noted that 147 pounds isn't far from 140, making the drop manageable without extreme rehydration. The overall takeaway was unmistakable. A disciplined, fully committed Ryan Garcia has returned, stronger, sharper, and ready to perform at his absolute peak.
Not too far off from 140. So there's a strong possibility without rehydration cause, we could probably drop down to 140 with no problem.
And make the fight happen at 40 instead.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And then you guys can rehydrate whatever you guys want from there.
I mean, listen, this is another thing that I've been seeing, and this is kind of interesting, is that, yeah, you got to rehydrate, of course, absolutely. Now, how far you can rehydrate? I would love to be over 7-8 pounds. Some go 10, some go 12, some even go 15, but they do rehydrate. But when you're in shape, in total fitness, I think the most you could hydrate is 7 or 8 pounds. I'm not kidding you. When you're in
Analysts warn fans not to overanalyze the short training clips of Ryan Garcia spreading online. A 15-second snippet or even a 1-minute highlight reel can't accurately show a fighter's readiness for a full 12-round bout. These videos are meticulously edited to highlight speed, power, and crisp combinations, while hiding the harsher aspects of camp, like exhaustion, weight cuts, and endurance challenges. The result is footage that only tells part of the story, leaving the full picture of preparation unseen.
10-second, 15-second clips, because Ryan very well could have had similar clips before the Rolly fight, but then he ends up losing to Rolly in New York. So for me, when I see sparring clips or brief edited clips online, I don't necessarily factor that in too much into what is to be the outcome, because the fact of the matter is, for Mario Barrios, I haven't really seen many clips from him at all. So training footage is very selective by nature. You're usually going to see the best moments plucked out, highlights, specific drills, things that would make someone look good. It don't really tell the full story about conditioning, weight cutting, or readiness. But what it does or can give you is an overall, like a snapshot of where the fighter is mentally, physically. Ryan does look like he's...
Analysts pointed out that Garcia looked impressive in similar clips before his loss to Rolly Romero in New York, yet the in-ring result told a completely different story. That serves as a reminder that highlight reels alone don't predict outcomes. By comparison, very little training footage of Mario Barrios has emerged, making side-by-side judgments even tougher. Still, what is visible offers insight into Garcia's mindset. He comes across focused, in peak shape, and fully committed to his preparation. Mentally and physically, he appears sharper than before. But Barrios remains a seasoned welterweight, respected for his toughness and size. Ultimately, these glimpses are just observations, they aren't certainties. The true verdict will only unfold on fight night, when both fighters must prove their readiness inside the ropes.
Looking forward to the fight. I think Ryan Garcia really needs to impress here, because he's coming off of a loss to Rolly Romero. And we all know in the world of boxing that back-to-back losses can really drive you down the ladder. So I am enjoying what I'm seeing regarding Ryan Garcia as he gears up for this particular fight. Ryan Garcia, his discipline has been in question in the past, but right now it looks like he's trying to really make a statement. He posted this via his official social media. This is Ryan's page, evident by the blue check mark. Quote, "Maybe you aren't my speed. Some shots throughout camp. The finish line is a..."
In boxing, greatness isn't measured solely by wins. It's about the legacy left behind. If Ryan Garcia secures a world title, he becomes a marquee name capable of capturing the attention of fans both inside and outside the sport. Analysts emphasize that keeping boxing vibrant in 2026 and beyond relies on standout fighters, icons whose personas connect with audiences. A victory over Mario Barrios could not only solidify Garcia's status, but also inspire younger fans and shine a spotlight on American boxing once again.
Garcia does become a world champion, it just makes it more interesting. Legacy reigns supreme. I said the last year that coming into 2026, to sustain the sport of boxing, to captivate the imagination, the emotions, and the interest of the boxing fans and casuals outside of the sport of boxing, we need the names versus the names, relevant versus relevant. We need people that people recognize. We need the fans to recognize these names, and they will be interested. Ladies and gentlemen, Ryan Garcia beating Mario Barrios is good for the sport of boxing. It's good for this young generation, because let's be real, let's be honest, Mario Barrios is not going to cut it in keeping the interest of the sport of boxing. He hasn't done it. He's been in big fights and he have not seized the moment. No, you Dennis Ugas, yeah, but it didn't seize the moment. We need interest. Ladies and gentlemen, American boxing is dying. A lot of people's not investing in American boxing. Let's be...
Barrios, despite his experience, has often fallen short in seizing career-defining opportunities during major fights. Garcia, on the other hand, brings mainstream charisma that draws casual fans and potential investors alike. Recent trends show that for boxing to thrive, matchups between well-known fighters are crucial. Legacy matters, and marketable champions like Garcia play a key role in reigniting excitement, attention, and investment in American boxing.
Netflix is just going to give you this events here and there. Maybe they'll give us Floyd Mayweather versus Manny Pacquiao too. But at the end of the day, everybody has abandoned American boxing, and the only way we get these investors back into the American landscape We got to do what we did out there at Madison Square Garden, New York City, this past weekend when we saw Shakur Stevenson beat Teofimo Lopez. Sold out crowd. Why was a sold out crowd? Because it was name versus a name. People recognize both names, tri-state area, right? Teofimo Lopez never did it sold out or even come close to selling out a big arena. Shakur Stevenson didn't come close to selling out even newer.
That wraps up today's breakdown. Stay locked in, and we'll catch you in the next one.